Hey, my name is Trent, and I will walk you through And the Winner Is. And the Winner is best utilized to help students progress in their ability to summarize and apply material. It does this by providing a framework to make meaningful evaluations and appraisals. It also encourages deep reflection at the end of a particular unit of study. But to most effectively utilize And the Winner Is, use it to make evaluations, to compare people, events, or places that are relevant to your particular unit of study. So the way to prepare for this is, first of all, you're going to identify and select important events, people, or places that are covered in your unit of study that require students to put them in rank order. So an example that we'll look at today is comparing locations for industry. So I teach geography, and this is in my course of study. So I have 7 cities listed here, and if you were to complete this entire lesson, at the end of the lesson, you will have compiled data for each of the cities and then evaluated them as locations or potential locations for industry. So choose a topic that can be evaluated and can be listed. You'll determine which of these things will be ranked, and you can select more things than will be actually evaluated by the students, and it requires them to do a deeper evaluation. And then finally, you're going to set up the template with the items to be ranked by the students. And so the template for this looks like this. So we have the 7 cities over here. We have a place for them to write down or type down evidence and discussion and analysis points. And then finally over here is where they're going to finally rank those. So if I were to teach this lesson, I would use it in conjunction with iCharge. So in iCharge, you're given this semantic analysis template, and you have the 7 cities, and then we have the topics. So the students are then given resources and information for each of the cities, and they compile the data in the iCharge. So once all of the data is compiled, then they, as a group or individually, they articulate the positives and the negatives for that city regarding the topic. So for New York, a positive for New York is that it has an abundance of water, and it includes rivers that can produce hydroelectric power. It also has strong proximity to other markets, so their goods will likely be sold. And then a negative, though, is that it's a colder climate relative to the other cities on the list. So again, the And the Winner Is template provides them a place for entering their evidence, their discussion within their group, and their analysis of the city. And then finally, at the end, they rank the cities 1 to 7 based on how well that city can handle industry. Okay, to teach the strategy, to use the strategy, you first instruct the students that they will be analyzing or reviewing the topics that you have selected. But then you're going to teach them what that word evaluation means. It's important that they know that evaluation is to determine the significance of something, the worth, or the condition of something. So you tell them that they'll be appraising or assessing, evaluating items. And it's important, again, that you define that word evaluation. You distribute the template, and you can do this one of 2 ways. You can do this at the end of a study or the end of a unit, or you can give them the template at the beginning, and they can compile those talking points, that analysis, the evidence throughout the unit of study, and then at the end of the unit of study, use that template and those things that they have recorded to then rank those items. So again, you can do it at the beginning or the end. Finally, you can use this as a writing prompt, and you can have students write a persuasive essay or persuasive paragraphs for why they chose the item that they did as the most significant. So here's an example of student work. As you can see, again, I teach civics also. They have items on the left here of civic responsibilities, and they were given information for each one. Then they wrote down and inserted discussion points here that they had within their groups, and then as a group they ranked those. And something I wanted to show you that's interesting is that this particular student ranked patriotism as the most important civic responsibility that we have as Americans, but the next student, the next group, ranked it as the least important. So it's important to choose things that can generate a lot of discussion and debate. Some tips for facilitating the strategy include it works well, as I showed you, it works well with iCharge. So use it in conjunction with iCharge. And it's most effective at the end of a unit of study when you have had ample opportunities to analyze and examine the items that you're ranking. And then also it can be used during the course of a unit where students can rank the most important causes or the most important effects of an event. So you can use this to also analyze cause and effect. And then to differentiate the strategy, for struggling students, you may provide fewer criteria to analyze, provide fewer items to rank, but for advanced students, have them establish their own criteria for the evaluation. You can require the items to be evaluated based on ESPN categories, and you can provide one reason why of the other items on the list is not as significant as the one they chose. So you can extend this and make it even more rigorous. In conclusion, and the winner is a great strategy that facilitates discussion. It facilitates evaluation and appraisal. It can be used as a writing prompt, and it causes the students to compare significant items, people, and places, and then to make a determination on which ones are most significant. And so it requires deep analysis and evaluation of those items. And so it's a really good template, a really good strategy to use at the end of a unit or throughout a unit.